Azazel is probably the most mysterious fallen angel ever created, except you know nothing about him, even though he might have actually had the most influence on humanity, teaching us everything from war to makeup. Most people go their entire lives without ever knowing this name. But why was he so terrible, and who even is Azazel? Well, Azazel is this fallen angel mentioned in the Book of Enoch. Obviously, Enoch is not canon in most Bibles, but it was this piece of Jewish literature actually used by the Jews in the time of Jesus. It was found in this cave by the Dead Sea after this shepherd boy stumbles upon it. And among these thousands of fragments, they would find the oldest copy of the Book of Enoch. Now, Azazel is described as this most nefarious angel. After descending to earth with 200 other fallen angels on Mount Hermon, he ends up teaching humanity this forbidden knowledge, which lands him a horrifying punishment. Now, what's interesting about specifically Azazel is not only what he teaches humanity, but it seems like Azazel is personally blamed for corrupting humanity before the flood. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of Azazel. Now, in the days of the rebellion, after Cain had built his first cities, 200 angels would descend onto Mount Hermon. They came here willingly, and they made a pact to abandon their divine place and take human women for wives. You see, while the others spent their time reproducing with women, Azazel would do something even more dangerous. See, humans marveled at the intelligence and knowledge of these divine beings. Their technology was nothing short of magic. Naturally, people got curious, wanting not only to see their technology and hear their wisdom, but also to get a chance to acquire these things for themselves. Azazel, who was viewed as this god walking the earth, gladly obliged. He started with showing humans this thing called metal. Copper, bronze, iron, and how to work them. He showed them how to turn these into tools, a bracelet, an ornament, or a knife. And slowly, as time went on, humanity would become more advanced ever so slightly before Azazel finally teaches men how to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplates, ultimately teaching humans about war. But these were all secrets of heaven. And so, violence erupted out into the world. Men killing each other with tools unknown to the earth. Their blood crying out to the Creator for justice. But he doesn't stop there. See, Azazel would then teach women how to put on makeup. And you gotta understand that at the time, this looked like sorcery. People now knew how to manipulate beauty, how to seduce men through artificial means. All of these teachings meant that humanity now had access to heavenly secrets. And that is exactly what this was. These were secrets reserved for heaven and not for the earth. You see, this simple pair, metal and makeup, would plunge the world into absolute chaos. Metals allowed humanity to create idols and weapons meant to kill others, while the women were taught to seduce and manipulate. The world and everything in it had been held hostage by evil. This is why Azazel is blamed for corrupting humanity. One day, I, Enoch, was blessing the Lord of Majesty and the King of the Ages, until this holy angel called out to me and said, "Enoch, go and tell the watchers who have left the high heaven that they brought a great destruction here on the earth, that they will not obtain peace nor forgiveness for their sin,
And as much as they may love their children, God says they will witness their utter destruction.
I went and said, Azazel, a severe sentence has been passed against you, and you shall not obtain peace. Because of the things you have taught humanity, the sin and the godlessness, God will no longer tolerate you, and he will no longer hear your requests. Then I went and spoke to the watchers together, and they were afraid. Fear and trembling absolutely seized them. So they urged me to write up a petition on their behalf so that they might obtain forgiveness. And I actually wrote out their petition. I prayed in regard to their spirits and their deeds individually. I asked the Creator if he would forgive the Watchers anyways, but that night, a dream came onto me. It was this vision where this voice told me to reprimand the Watchers. It was a clear sign that their petition had been denied. See, when I woke, I returned to them. They were all sitting gathered together, weeping, with their faces covered, but I still proceeded to recount the visions I had in my sleep. I began to speak the words of righteousness, a great reprimand of the heavenly watchers. I wrote out your petition, and in my sleep I saw that your petition was not granted to you. God says that throughout all the days of eternity, no, your petition will not be granted for you. God says that from this day forth, you will not ascend into heaven for all of eternity, and you will remain here and be bound until the end of the earth. But not until you have seen the destruction of your beloved sons. There shall be no such thing as heaven for a giant. Now, in the vision, I was summoned with this mist, and it lifted me upwards into heaven. I was brought before the Creator himself, in a spectacle of fire and lightning. He told me,
Enoch, go say to the Watchers who have sent you to intercede for them, tell them that you should intercede for men and not men for you. Why did you leave the high, holy, and eternal heaven to lay with women? You were spiritual beings. You have an eternal life. You are immortal. Your dwelling place is in heaven, and this is why I did not appoint wives for you. You have defiled yourselves with the daughters of men. Now, these giants, who are produced from spirit and flesh, they will have to remain here on earth. And here they will be called evil spirits, the spirits of the giants, your children. They will afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, and work destruction here on earth until the very day of judgment. See, you Watchers had been in heaven,
but not every mystery was revealed to you yet. You only knew the worthless ones, which you made known to these women. And through these mysteries, humanity committed many sins. So to you, God says, you shall have no peace. After the Archangel Raphael is told to remove Azazel, he ends up burying him alive in a desert place called Dudael. According to the Book of Enoch, he would be covered with rough, sharp rocks and left there until Judgment Day, when he will finally be thrown into the lake of fire. Some believe that Dudael is a real place, and according to tradition, it's supposed to be east of Jerusalem. But conveniently, there is something else that is located in that general direction, which turns this into a much bigger mystery. You see, east of Jerusalem, you also have the great river Euphrates, where, according to the book of Revelation, 4 angels are bound, just waiting there for the end times. Could one of these angels be specifically Azazel? See, what makes this even more mysterious is actually found in Leviticus 16, when we hear of this curious Jewish ritual done on the Day of Atonement, otherwise known as Yom Kippur. See, every year, they do this thing where they take 2 goats, and after casting lots, one goat will be chosen to be sacrificed, while the other was chosen to bear the sins of Israel. The high priest would confess over it all the sins of the people before leading the goat into the wilderness, symbolically sending the goat and their sins away to Azazel.